Hi there. Thank you for taking time to learn more about UStrive and our mentoring model. I'm excited you've chosen to take this first step on your UStrive mentoring journey and that I have the opportunity to share more about us and our partnership with Deutsche Bank and how we can continue to grow and expand our impact together. My name is Calvin Burton. I'm the Director of Development and Partnerships here at UStrive, and I can't wait to hear any first impressions or questions you might have. I'll share my contact information at the end, so feel free to take a screenshot when we get there and reach out if you have any questions. I'll tell you a little bit about our organization, what we do, why we do it, and how you might get involved. So, just a nice, short, and sweet intro to UStrive. But let's go ahead and get started. At a very baseline level, just to give you a sense of us and what we do, our mission is to democratize access to social capital so that individuals can achieve their college and career dreams. And we specifically do that by connecting mentees to mentors through our completely virtual mentoring platform. And I also like to talk a little bit about why we do what we do, connect the dots for everyone. So every year, about 500,000 academically qualified lower income students who should go on to college fail to do so. And it's largely due to a lack of adequate guidance. About 67% of public high schools don't have a counselor focused exclusively on college advising. So this really means that there are a lot of young people at public schools who might not have someone who's able to work with them one-on-one on their applications or give them career guidance and things of that nature. But it's not just an enrollment issue. This lack of guidance extends beyond college enrollment. Only 11% of students from the bottom quarter for income earned their bachelor's degree within 6 years. And graduates from low income households earn just 66% of what their peers from higher income backgrounds earn at the start of their careers. And by mid career, that number falls to 50%. So you can really imagine the difference a mentor can make in terms of giving the guidance and help that will not only support students getting to college, but of course, persisting through college and starting their careers. And then just a little bit more about us. UStrive has reached over 3 million students across the U.S. to date, and we are a college and career organization that serves individuals in all 50 states and 5 U.S. territories. For many years, we were the only career and college mentoring organization serving students nationwide. However, here recently, a couple of our competitors have accomplished national reach. That said, in August of 2022, we expanded our reach and now serve students internationally. So as long as the student is looking to come to a U.S. college or university, any student around the world can sign up for UStrive, and about 11% of our students are international. So far, 108 of your Deutsche Bank colleagues have signed up to mentor a student on our platform. In fact, last year, nearly 300 hours of volunteer mentorship was donated to mentees seeking support with enrollment or persistence through college and or career advice. And that means so many students received the support they needed because volunteers like you were there to be their guides, coaches, and cheerleaders. And with over 3 million students to date, there's always room to make a difference, and students from all walks of life looking for help. In fact, UStrive serves a diverse group of students, including high schoolers, college students, and recent graduates. We also have some grad students on the platform too, so be on the lookout. And all of our students have some level of financial need, with 80% coming from households earning less than $50,000 annually and 85% being students of color. We aim to support all of our students in achieving their unique goals, whether that involves college, trade school, or even entering the workforce directly out of high school. And we're proud to say that our mentorship model really does work. Over 90% of high school students seeking to go to college who are matched with a UStrive mentor enroll. And then 92% of our students at four-year colleges persist on to their next year, while 73% of UStrive students at two-year colleges persist on to the next year. So now that you know more about who we are and what we do, I think it's a perfect time to flip. And let's talk about our mentoring model. So, as you can imagine, UStrive students typically are looking for help with writing and editing college application essays, preparing for campus life, creating budgets for college and beyond, and of course, exploring their career interests. Students also typically seek help in identifying the next steps needed to achieve their career goals and applying for internships and jobs. However, around this time of year, many students you may come across will be looking for help deciding which college they should attend after receiving their acceptance letters. In fact, May 1st was National College Decision Day. So typically around this time of year, it's a great time to check in with mentees and support them, as they're making their final decisions. And you can do that by encouraging them to, review all of their college offers and financial aid packages. You can encourage them to reach out to admissions offices with any remaining questions that they may have, and or submitting their enrollment confirmation and deposit to their chosen school. All kind of things. And while it might not seem like much, helping students navigate these waters at this stage in their education and lives can make a massive difference. But if you see that list and it feels a little bit intimidating, please don't let it be. The number one question we get asked when people are signing up to volunteer is, am I qualified to be a mentor? And I'm here to reassure you that yes, absolutely. The same qualities that have made you successful professionally will make you a successful mentor. We really just want our mentors to bring their soft skills like being open and willing to communicate and, of course, follow up with their mentees. And so, just to further back this up, I brought in some actual questions that our mentees have asked their mentors on our platform. And you'll notice a lot of these questions are about your own personal experiences. They might need a little bit of Googling, but for the most part, students are not asking you to help them write a perfect cover letter or get them their dream job. Students are asking things like, how do I get myself involved with internships? What kind of colleges did you apply to? What career can I go into with a degree in the biomedical field? When do you think is a good time to apply for scholarships? And then our last question here, which I think is a fantastic starting ground for our mentee-mentor relationships, is, of course, I wanted to know how you knew what you wanted to be when you were in high school, and how did you decide that? So again, a lot of these questions just require drawing on that personal experience, being open, and helping your mentee research some of the questions that they have. And of course, we always like to offer prospective mentors step-by-step guidance on how we recommend approaching the mentoring match. UStrive is a unique model in that, again, we are virtual and we offer a kind of choose-your-own-adventure approach, which I'll talk a little bit more about here shortly. But first, number one, we always recommend to our mentors that they start by determining communication preferences right away to build a strong relationship with mentees. So how often are you going to communicate? Will it primarily be via text or primarily via video chat? Set some ground rules right at the start. It can really be helpful in ensuring that you have a successful match. Number two, the second step we always recommend is getting to know your mentee. Spend some time asking them what they're like, what they enjoy doing, what their passions are, and what their goals are. This will really help you support them along on their journey and, of course, strengthen your bond as you get to know them better. The third thing we always recommend is that you just provide support from there. How can you encourage your mentee? What can you do to help them meet their goals? And then finally, number four, and possibly the most important step, following up. We are working with young people. They might sometimes forget to respond. They might be busy working part-time while they're in school. Whatever the reason, they might drop off. But the more you can follow up, the more you can ask them about how they're doing. The more you follow up and say, hey, I'm still here for you. Do you have any questions? The more helpful it will be, because most of the time they just forget to respond. Another thing that really differentiates UStrive from other mentoring programs is that we do not have a set time commitment or a required period of time where you have to commit to the program. And this is what I meant about our model being very choose your own adventure. Well, this is partly what I meant. We'll talk more later on the other parts. So the amount of time you spend with a mentee will really vary depending on the mentee's needs and also depending on what you're looking to get out of the program. But if you need some guidance in general, you can probably expect to spend about 1 to 2 hours a month with the mentee for about 4 months. But that being said, if you're looking for a longer match where you talk a little more often, maybe even like a year or two, that is definitely an option that's available on the platform. If you're looking for a match where you kind of just text your mentee on the weekends, it's very, very low commitment, you can have that as well. We really have all kinds of opportunities for every type of mentorship on the platform. And with that, I will move into the UStrive platform itself. So the first thing I like to talk about, of course, is registering. So the first step of becoming a mentor is going to be signing up at ustrive.com/mentor/DB. This is the landing page that will greet you when you get there. You'll know you're in the right place if it has your company logo on it. And after that, you can really sign up any way you like. You can use your LinkedIn, you can use your Google sign on, or you can sign up with your email address. We do always recommend that you sign up with your work email address just because that makes it a little bit easier for us to get things up and running on the background. On the back end. But of course, it also makes it easier for us to recognize you and your volunteer work as both an individual and a collective. And then after that, we'll ask you to verify your phone number briefly. It'll send you a PIN that you'll just need to input. And then after inputting the PIN that you received to your phone, we'll ask you for a bit of personal information and, of course, to create a brief profile, which includes a headshot and a short bio. And your profile is important because in our model, again, our mentees get to select the mentor they want to work with. So they'll be looking at your photo, reading your bio, and of course, considering your education and employment background to find the best match for them. So please be intentional when writing your bio and selecting your photo. A friendly, approachable headshot and bio that highlights not only your career education, your career and educational history, but also your passions and how you like to help students will go a long way. So please do include that information and include as much personal stuff as you would like or as little as you would like. We've seen students match with mentors who love the same sports team as them, so don't be afraid at all to make it personal, especially if it'll help a mentee find you. So after you have onboarded and created that profile that we talked about and a few other easy steps, you will be logged into the platform and you will see your mentor dashboard. And this is what it will look like once you are actually matched with the student. Now, the first thing I'll point out is the currently available toggle that my arrow is pointing to, because our mentees, again, do select their mentors. This is really how you, the mentor, are able to control how many mentees you want to work with at once or how much time you want to put into the program in general. If you mark yourself as unavailable, you will be almost made invisible on the UStrive platform. And that just means no new students will be able to see you and or match with you. And if you click on your active matches, this will take you to the communication center of our platform, which is really the heart of our platform. There are multiple different ways that you and your mentee can communicate through UStrive, and this is one of our real strengths. So you can really mentor in any way from anywhere. Our platform offers multiple ways to communicate with your mentee. You can chat via desktop. You can use a masked phone number for calls and texts, just like Uber or Instacart, if you've ever used those applications or apps, and even video chat directly through the platform. So this is how we're able to ensure all interactions are safe, secure, and of course, convenient. And then at any time, for any reason, you can also end a match. The end match button is available, and when you click it, you'll be prompted to send one last message back and forth with your mentee to close things out, but you'll also be prompted to give us any feedback that you might have. So we understand that sometimes there's not a fit, and maybe the relationship has changed, or maybe it's just closing. So if you're closing out a match and maybe you and your mentee have been working together for a while and now you feel like they've met their goals, you and your mentee can end the match at that time or really at any time. And the UStrive platform is really built to house a number of resources which are all designed to give you and your mentee the knowledge you'll need to work together. So again, as I mentioned before, we really want our mentors to just bring the soft skills that they have, the openness, the willingness to communicate, the ability to follow up. Anything else related to career, related to persisting in college, related to college access, we want to be able to provide you with those hard copy resources. So with that in mind, we have a bunch of different resources on the platform. These are all available to both you and your mentee, and those resources include a set of over 150 guides, which are really like robust curriculums for mentees and mentors. We also have a goals tracker, which is connected to the guide section. And it's a great way to keep track of things you and your mentee want to actually work on. And we also have a college search tool. It pulls data from over 8,500 colleges, including community colleges. And again, it's something both you and your mentee can use. And then finally, we have a Google Docs integration so that you and your mentee can work on documents together in real time, and even more on the platform. We can only do a very brief overview here today, but I absolutely recommend that once your account is set up, maybe even before you're matched with the student, that you get in there, take a look around and really see what the different resources are like. All right, and with that, we've reached the end of our information session today. I just want to share with you all, one of my favorite things. This is our most recent video of some UStrive students opening their college acceptance letters. And I always like to share this because if I didn't do a good job of convincing you to be a UStrive mentor, I feel very certain that this will. So we'll watch this for just a moment.
A college acceptance letter is more than just an envelope or an email. It's the culmination of effort, perseverance, and hope. It represents a step toward opportunity, a moment that can change the trajectory of a life. Behind every acceptance letter are the quiet moments of determination, the guidance of a mentor, and the courage to dream big. It's a journey that reflects resilience and the power of community. Today, over 2.5 million students have taken that first step by opting in for a UStrive mentor. Each of them pursued a path uniquely their own, supported by meaningful connections that help them navigate applications, essays, financial aid, and more. Let's hear from a few of our mentees on how they've benefited from having a UStrive mentor this year.
Hi. I don't really come on here and post talking videos, but after reflecting on my 2 years at Harvard, the cool people I've gotten to meet, the things I've gotten to do, and all the things I've gotten to learn, I thought.
And just a little more about us, UStrive has reached over 3 million students across the U.S. to date, and we are a college and career organization that serves individuals in all 50 states and 5 U.S. territories. For many years, we were the only career and college mentoring organization serving students nationwide. However, here recently, a couple of our competitors have accomplished national reach. That said, in August of 2022, we expanded our reach and now serve students internationally. So, as long as the student is looking to come to a U.S. college or university, any student around the world can sign up for UStrive, and about 11% of our students are international. Let me make sure I get my contact information up here for you. All right. Well, that video always gets me tearing up, but definitely in a good way. Well, what I hope the video ultimately shows is that as a mentor, you'll have the opportunity to provide guidance that can change the trajectory of a young person's future forever. Whether it's helping them navigate the college application process, offering career advice, or simply being a supportive presence, your impact can be really profound. But it's not just about the students. Mentoring is also an incredibly rewarding experience for you as a mentor. It offers you the chance to develop new skills, gain fresh perspectives, and even rediscover your own passion for learning and growth. Many of our mentors find that they gain just as much from the relationship as their mentees do. So I encourage you to seriously consider becoming a UStrive mentor. The time commitment is flexible, the platform is easy to use, and the impact you can have is immeasurable. We host quarterly trainings for new mentors, monthly information sessions, and virtual office hours where you can come in, drop by, and ask us anything. So drop by if you have any questions, or feel free to take a screenshot and reach out to me or our support team if you feel more comfortable reaching out via email. We also provide short informational sessions for small to large groups. So if you want someone to speak to your group about UStrive, contact me and let's connect. Thank you.